the nerve, the gall, the insanity. Welcome back to Sodi Pop on YouTube. I'm Matt, and today was a day of just pure roller coaster insanity between the VEVE drop, the marketplace still not being open, between Amazon web services still being shut down, and then Ubisoft announcing they are going to be on the Tezos blockchain, NFTs, and then me seeing probably my favorite people on the internet, Kind of Funny, Games Daily, just absolutely trounce what they think NFTs are. It's been a little weird. I saw this news about Ubisoft, Ubiquitous Software, so I say Ubisoft, whatever you want to say, that they are going to start launching NFTs in an older game. It's their Ghost Recon game, and it's going to be called Ubisoft Quartz. It's in beta, and essentially what they allow you to do is have digital goods. You own them in some way. They are apparently NFTs, and you own them. You can resell them. There's a lot of asterisks. We don't know exactly how this works, and in my opinion, and I think many others' opinion, not your keys, not your wallet. That's a crypto saying. It means if I can't transfer this stuff into a separate wallet, if I can't transfer it away, if I can't sell it somewhere else other than the Ubisoft store or the in-game thing, I don't really own it, and therefore it isn't really a true NFT. We'll get to that in a moment. But we'll go back to aforementioned Kind of Funny Games Daily. I want to be very clear. Everything I'm about to say here is not hating on these guys. They're actually some of my most loved people on the internet in general. Greg Miller, I've followed him since his Up at Noon IGN days. I loved him and Colin Moriarty when together. I loved him and Colin Moriarty when they separated. So there's a lot that I like about Kind of Funny. I just think they are dreadfully wrong on this stuff. They don't necessarily understand it, which is fine. They're just giving their opinions like everyone else is on the internet and tries to do. But I just think they are so off base here. I had to comment. And again, they are some of my favorite people. So I'm a YouTuber. Might as well make some content about it, right? Get something out of this. But I'm just going to show a picture right here. Me and Greg Miller. That's a Christmas party several years ago. I really do like them. So nothing is meant as a personal attack at all. And I won't get into that. But in case you guys view it as that, this is really not what this video is about. I'm going to play some clips of their video discussing it. And I'm just going to go through kind of point by point. I think that's the easiest way to do it. And I think there's a lot of misunderstanding and understandably mistrust of the NFT space in gaming and what that could mean, what that does mean. Because you see things like Gary Vaynerchuk's, his NFTs are like paper drawn napkin NFTs, and they really look awful and they're super low rent, but he's giving use to them. It gets 3 years or 4 years of his access to his secret conferences or what have you. So there's usage for them. And that's another thing NFTs can do. They're tokens that can be used for something. Let's go ahead, go through this, and man, there's so much to talk about, and I was originally incensed, but I've since calmed down and gathered some of my thoughts. All right, let's go ahead and play this.
Required for 1 year of non-stop streaming. This low carbon footprint means that our developers and our players can prioritize innovation without compromising sustainability. Ubisoft Quartz will be available in beta starting December 9th. Gary, blockchains, NFTs, they're here in video games. How do you feel about it?
You want to know how I feel about it, Tamoor? Look at my face.
Okay. Stoic
It's a very cynical, skeptical face that I'm making right now.
So he's right to be cynical and skeptical, absolutely. Also, Gary Whitta, the way he phrases things, I love him, but sometimes the way he phrases things is very black and white and strong. And he can come around, he does come around to certain things, but when he doesn't like something, it seems like he wants to throw it into the bowels of hell. When he likes something, it's the opposite. So the way he speaks is very strong, and you'll see that right now.
I'm very skeptical.
Yeah, why are you skeptical?
I mean, I'm not an expert, and maybe I'm wrong, and maybe everyone else that I'm listening to is wrong, but the NFTs, it just seems like a bit of a scam to me. It just seems like a bit of a racket. So it's no surprise that companies like Ubisoft and I know EA have expressed an interest, are all rushing to get involved in this latest racket. It feels like, from the company's point of view, it feels like probably the next logical step in the microtransaction economy, right? It's the next evolution of that. And we all know that free-to-play games with, monetization on the back end, Call of Duty Warzone's making a lot of money. Halo Infinite, of course, has just made its leap into that world, free to play, but then everything is microtransacted on the back end, and I suspect that will make a lot of money as well once some decent cosmetics and things like that show up in the.
So this is a great concern. Randy Chavez, he had a stream a week or two ago where he was kind of dreaming about what the VVverse could be, and for me, he brought up Clash of Clans, and he's like, oh, what if you had to use your Omi currency and you had to pay for more tries in Clash of Clans? That to me is the exact wrong use of all this stuff. It will be used for that. No doubt in my mind. It already exists. Why wouldn't they just ham fist that in? I don't want to see the race to the bottom. I think there's a better way, and we'll talk about that coming up right now. But I think that is a very reasonable response to some of this stuff. Absolutely.
Store. But I don't know. Okay, so I have some questions. Mm-hmm. First of all, my overall feeling is I feel like any company that's getting involved in NFTs at this point has to overcome a tremendous amount of kind of prevailing skepticism about this, right?
Yeah, he's absolutely right. People are really skeptical about this. You're seeing people make millions of dollars on some just very flat pictures, and it makes no sense. Some of them, absolutely. There's a history and a community behind some that might make sense. But you look at art as a whole. Do you understand art? Do you understand a Matisse, a Picasso? Why a Banksy costs so much? I would say a lot of us don't at all. I certainly have gone to the MoMA, and a lot of that stuff has made 0 sense to me. Some of it's very cool, but why it's worth millions of dollars, I don't know. So I would also keep that in mind, understanding art and how it's coming into the new world in digital ownership. And that's one thing I think they don't understand is digital ownership.
Prevailing mood towards NFTs is a lot of skepticism. Unless you're either a hardcore zealot, you're one of these crypto bros that like really believes in NFTs and is willing, to pay $1 million for a fucking JPEG that you get to say that you own, right?
And again, that kind of goes back to my argument of the art thing. Once again, the VEVE app having the official licenses for Star Wars and for Disney and for Cartoon Network, all these things, which I give a challenge to Gary. He should download the VEVE app. He should try some of this. I think he would at least understand it a little more. I don't know if he'll be totally changed, but everyone that I've introduced to it, you really start to get what NFTs could be and what they are and what they're moving towards and the quality that is lacking in some of these other aspects.
Right, which again, it's such a fucking scam. Historians are going to look back on this and go, what a joke.
Sultry.
Yeah.
But the question is, are there enough people to fall for this particular scam? Probably. In real terms,
how is this
I
different?
wonder about like how interesting it really is. Like the idea of tradable items is not particularly new, right? We've seen that in lots of games before. You can trade items, in
Again, that's why I say they don't really understand digital ownership, because this isn't just tradable items. It's not. You can buy and sell, and again, I want to make it very clear, this may or may not be a true NFT. If they say, yeah, cool, it's locked within Ghost Recon and it's just going to be a thing, you own it, you can sell it and buy it and you get the money. But if it's just locked within Ghost Recon, if it's like VEVE right now where you can't get your gems out and they never promise you can get your gems out, then it's in spirit. In function, it might be an NFT. In spirit is not. Form and function are both important to be called an NFT. An NFT isn't just in name, it is in the function of it as well. You have to be able to move it to your own wallets. You have to be able to sell it on different circumstances. You definitely have to be able to withdraw your money. So he's right if that is the case. And for some NFTs, they will say they're NFTs as a marketing strategy, but they won't really be NFTs.
Team Fortress and Valve games and things like that. And the idea of unique items to me raises questions like it's already a big enough job for developers just to create, a large wardrobe or library of cosmetics that anybody can buy, right? If each one has to be unique, how different or how unique can they truly be? I guarantee you they're not going to make thousands and thousands of like genuinely unique looking items. What's going to make them unique is the serial number, right? That's why the serial number is there. Because that validates it as unique, but it's also an easy way to say it's unique. You're going to have two helmets that look exactly the same, but because they have different serial numbers, they're literally printing money. Like when you print money.
I don't see how this is different from buying. Why would you be more incensed about this and not the general microtransactions in games nowadays. And I know he doesn't like them. I don't like them either. But you want to buy cosmetic stuff, but at least you own it now. Well, presumably you own it and you can sell it and get money from it. And with collectors, serial number, the lower the numbers, sub 100 mints, sub 1000 mints, 888, 999. All those numbers are special to someone somewhere. If they're obsessed with the game. I mean, prestiging, getting golden guns in like Call of Duty. And if you could sell it, and maybe you're the first one to get the gun, or you're number 25, or what have you, and if you could resell it. Being Pokemon, winning the tournaments back in the day, I don't know if it still happens, but winning the Pokemon tournaments, you'd get the Game Boy, the Pokemon Game Boy, and special cards and stuff. What if you get those things, these prizes that you can now resell, which you never could before? Special titles that you could think of. Rocket League, you get a special title, you know, the Mr. and Mrs. title, that one guy who proposed or got married in Rocket League, and they have that Mr. and Mrs. title. It was very early on, like season 1, and they gave him that. What if they could, I mean, it'd be messed up, but what if they could sell that title and it's not just something that they have, but it's a unique thing that is different to get or hard to get? Again, this is just, for me, this is just kind of you have to have more imagination. Some companies will get this and do that. Some companies will use it as a marketing strategy and not really do those things. But ultimately, it's a win-win-win-win-win, because if there is a true NFT, you can transfer it, you can have it. In the background, there's a smart contract that says Ubisoft will always get 8% of the sale no matter what. In the past, with a used game, that wasn't possible. If I sold it back GameStop, if I sold it back to my friend, the initial sale was the only money Ubisoft got, and beyond that, they didn't get a dime of anything else. That is not the way it is. I can resell it, the customer wins, and the game studio wins, or the creator, which is even cooler. The creators, the artists, they get paid, which is really, really awesome as far as like NFTs and blockchain.
All dollar bills look the same, but they have a different serial number.
Yeah.
Each dollar bill is unique. Each pair of trousers that they sell in fucking Ghost Recon Breakpoint or whatever is going to technically be unique. But
Yeah.
like, I mean, where are your bragging rights on this? When I'm in a firefight in a first-person shooter game, I'm not saying to the other guy, hey, let me stop and check out the fucking serial number on your helmet. Oh, that's cool. You know, I can barely even see what kind of armor the guy's wearing because I'm running around.
And maybe he's right. Maybe this isn't the game for that. He could be absolutely right, but people are pretty into what they're wearing. So whether this, I think an MMO RPG would be better for things like this. You know, having that ultra rare or epic or legendary hammer or, you know, whatever in WoW. That's a little bit more makes sense to me.
Around trying to fucking stay alive.
Yeah.
But
So
Gary,
where
I
exactly
feel like
is that you're going to brag about the fucking serial number on your helmet?
Yeah.
I
Kevin,
think
what
what
you
you're
think?
forgetting is that like this is associated with cryptocurrency. So there's like some sort of coin attached to it.
Yes.
The item itself in its code has the address, the cryptocurrency address embedded.
So I want to take a moment because this is on the Tezos blockchain. Tezos blockchain I've been involved with since the inception in the end of 2017. They held the ICO. I've been involved with it since then. And so Tezos blockchain, it is a proof of stake, meaning that is very, very, I accidentally on this video, I was out to lunch and I commented zero energy intensive blockchain. It's not zero, it is very, very, very low. For the creation and everything, if you're going to create something in real life, no one's complaining about making this t-shirt, how much it costs, how much material it used. No, but they are about this. That doesn't make sense. The Tezos, maybe Ethereum, you can complain about that. Tezos blockchain, not so much. It's self-amending, which is very cool. Which means, unlike Ethereum, where if they disagree upon something or they need to make a change, it is a big effort by the community. There has to be an Ethereum improvement proposal. People have to go on to the new chain that can result in splits and hard forks and stuff like that. That does not happen on Tezos blockchain, and I assume that is why people are going to, or companies in particular, are going to use it, because they don't have to be worried about changing the nodes or changing. Like, it is much more straightforward in that way, and it can make changes on the fly depending on what is better and things that we learn, because blockchain is just so new in general. The Tezos blockchain, it also has a whole bunch of other things on top of it already that are very low cost. Go ahead and check out one of. They have a fictional partnership with a lot like Doja Cat and I think the Grammys and stuff. little bit less interesting overall as far as like format to me, but they do already sell a lot of NFTs on the Tezos blockchain, very low cost, and I think it was probably a good idea to do it on this particular blockchain, which gives me more faith that you will be able to transfer it out and it will be yours and you can transfer it to your own wallet. It's very easy, quick, and cheap to do it on the Tezos blockchain. And again, I do own some of it for take that for what you will with a grain of salt, and just keep that in mind.
Embedded into it, and that is what makes it unique, not the image. Really, what NFTs are is an image that has this unique code that is embedded within it that can't be just copied and pasted.
Yeah.
All of it matters. The image matters because look at the VEVE NFTs, the Disney Princess Elsa. People want that when they want to keep it. But again, you can attach utility to this. Maybe there's a conference that Ubisoft holds and you want to get into a secret gameplay, but you have to have a certain helmet under a certain mint number, under a certain level. Here you go. That is utility. That's the whole point of NFTs, is that it's verifiable ownership through the blockchain. You can say, here, I own this. No one else does. I can't just copy and paste it. I can't show you a picture of it. You know, just like seeing a real driver's license, you need to see the real NFT, and it is verifiable on the blockchain that you own it in that wallet. You can get access to, if you're going to E3 and you want a special gameplay trailer, you know, maybe a press pass or something. That is very possible, and in my mind, very, very probable that they will do things like that.
Yeah. I think like for me,
Who gives a shit about that though?
Yeah,
Well, the people that
the people that
care about
the thing. Here's where I'm coming from. And this is going to be cynical. I have made it very clear that I do not give a shit about blockchain. I do not give a shit about NFTs. I think it's a annoying poison that I just wish would go away. But the people that are going to care are the people
I don't think so.
that Ubisoft currently is not speaking to, and they need. Here's my cynical approach. Who gives a shit about Ghost Recon Breakpoint? Let's
That's
keep
another
it 100%.
thing. It's like they're taking a
Let's keep it
concept that
100.
nobody gives a shit
Who
about, and
gives
they're putting
a
it in a
shit?
game that nobody gives a shit about. They're like
And that
doubling
is-
down on
I
apathy.
think that is the smartest thing they've done. Like,
That's probably
who
true.
gives a shit about a Ghost Recon Breakpoint? Honestly, there's probably a bunch of players. I'm sure it's an okay game now. But within the broader scheme of things, broader landscape of gaming, Ghost Recon Breakpoint, no one cares about Ghost Recon Breakpoint. You know what NFT bros and blockchain bros do care about? NFTs and blockchains. And they will go anywhere one of those things appear, just in the hopes of finding some sort of success. The hope of success is enough. You could put NFTs anywhere and these weirdos would appear and they will flood that area. Ubisoft probably looking at this and going, nobody gives a shit about our game. How do we get people in this game as soon as possible, as quickly as possible? They add NFTs to them, and suddenly you've got an influx of weirdos that love NFTs.
Tam, you take off that Metal Gear hat, you son of a... He's directly insulting me. That's okay. I understand it. And I won't directly insult you. You seem like a nice guy. You're good at writing. Yeah, I mean, he is right about one thing. I think this will draw in people that are familiar with NFTs and know it. The struggle here is explaining it, and that's why I'm creating this video, explaining it in a way that makes sense to people like this. Everyone in my close circle, families and friends that I've explained it to, and then I've introduced, I think VEVE is like the introduction because it's very easy to use, and the blockchain part of it is abstracted. It's away from you, but it is running on that. And I think that's what people will see there. They'll go, oh, cool, I have this, whatever. It's like a normal game. And if you can then transfer it out, and here's the kicker, you can transfer it to Call of Duty because now you own that helmet and they've also modeled it in Call of Duty. You transfer it over there. You transfer it to the next Ghost Recon game. You own it. It's something you can carry with you. That has really never been possible before. And or it has been possible in the way where they say, yo, you get to kind of carry this forward. This isn't, NFTs are not transferring. It's not cross-save. It's not this buzzword. It is a new thing. It is a digital ownership. And one thing I explained is that, and this is pretty much how it continues. Kevin kind of rebuttals some of their stuff, but they end up at this exact same point where they don't believe it. They think it's stupid, and they think it's just a buzzword that people are trying to scam and get money from. So I'm going to kind of end their portion of the video here. But NFTs is ownership. One thing that could happen that I've described before is that you could have an NFT of a game, and this will probably happen on PC first. Let's say Diablo 3 or something. That's a horrible example because Blizzard has been horrible recently. But let's take a Call of Duty game. Let's just make it simple. So there's an NFT of Call of Duty game, and you now own it. It says that you own it. Because it's an NFT, you can transfer that to your friend who wants to borrow it for a week or two. They can transfer it back to you. Or maybe there's a rental system because there's a video game like GameFi is a middleman service where they charge you 2% and you can rent it out for $10 for the month or whatever per minute because the blockchain works that quickly. It can be per second. Who cares? They can charge a certain amount. You can rent it. That will immediately, the smart contract will say, hey, you'll immediately send back to your wallet after the 24, 38 hours, whatever. If they want to pay more to extend it, they can. That can all be stipulated on the smart contract. Or now you can sell it to an intermediate service, or you can sell it to someone like your friend again, and you sell it for $40. It's been used. You've had it for 2 weeks. You beat it, kind of got what you needed from it. You don't like the multiplayer for whatever reason. Now, Ubisoft, EA, they have an interest in that. Why? Because they can stipulate how much they get of every resale of that NFT of their game. That's my point, is that they will always get a little bit of something, 2%, 10%, whatever. On VEVE, the fees for Marvel are a little bit higher. They're 6% plus to 2%, 2.5%. So it's 8.5% the entirety because VEVE gets part of that too. And then some of them are a lot lower. They're just 2%, but they get that in perpetuity. That has never even been possible before with anything digital. It's not even possible with something physical. They don't like physical sales because they don't get a part of the secondary sale. It is in their best interest to facilitate secondary sales. They might even get more money from the secondary sales than they get from the initial first wave. Think about, oh my gosh, think about releasing amazing DLC, and then you have this whole wave of secondary sales that take place through a PlayStation Store or through something online, because it doesn't need to be Steam anymore. It's now an NFT platform. It could be on OpenSea or something that's open source in general, and that could allow for this whole wave of secondary sales, like Monster Hunter, if they decide to release it. Nintendo will surely be the last, if they do this at all, to this. But I mean, man, the possibilities are really endless with this stuff. I think they don't fully get it, and that's fine. They are self-admitted, not an expert. Tamoor really is like harsh on it. And here's one thing, they're in the Bay Area, and I can imagine there's some people who are just like nose up in the air, you're an idiot type thing. I've also met some game developers. I met this one gentleman from Rockstar, he's really awesome, but I was talking with Bitcoin, and they have very similar, if not the exact same opinion as them. Oh, Bitcoin's going to be regulated out of style. It's not going to be around in a few years. You could believe that. History says otherwise right now. And I think continuing on, it will say otherwise. And this will be around and change a lot of things. It will certainly change, and there's going to be a lot of scams. This might be one of them. This might not be a true NFT. Because it's on the Tezos blockchain, it makes me think it definitely is a true NFT. It was on a no-name weird blockchain or one of their internal ones, which wouldn't be a real blockchain. I would hesitate to call it a real NFT, and I'd be very, very remiss to recommend it to anyone. I'll definitely check this out and how it works. But anyways, let me know what you think down below. I mean, this is a huge conversation. This will be raging on for a long time. Kind of funny games in general. That whole ecosphere, these guys, they're some of my favorite people on the internet, as I said. So I saw this and I immediately wanted to respond in a respectful but poignant way. Just thank you again for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Comment down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think I'm wrong, right about, what you think I'm missing. I have a whole list of things that I wrote down, and I had a lot to say. I know I'm probably missing some of this stuff, but I think I got most of it out. I'm feeling better. This was very therapeutic for me. Well, anyways, have a wonderful day. Remember, follow me on the 3Ts and IG, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, and Instagram, building a whole new website. Probably be up at the end of the month. Looking forward to some giveaways as well. And finally, remember,
be yourself
and eat a cookie. Bye.